Imagine waking up in a room that smells like wet leather, stale sweat, and realizing that today's bathwater is the same muddy bucket 5 people used yesterday. Sounds miserable, right? What's worse is that this single habit helped deadly germs race through frontier towns faster than any outlaw on horseback. Stick around to find out how bad hygiene almost derailed the Wild West. Hollywood westerns love wide-angle sunsets and heroic gunfights, but rarely mention the human odor thick enough to make newcomers gag. On the frontier, most people bathed once a week at best, and many believed that scrubbing too often left skin open to illness. That fear, paired with scarce water and primitive waste systems, created the perfect breeding ground for sickness. Today we'll uncover the everyday routines, good, bad, and downright dangerous, that shaped real lives west of the Mississippi. Clean, flowing water was the first luxury settlers surrendered. If you lived near a stream, you were lucky, but even then, hauling every bucket uphill was grueling. In desert outposts, families saved rain in wooden barrels and canvas cisterns. When the barrels ran low, everyone dry washed with a damp rag. A wooden washtub came out on Saturday night. Father soaked first, mother next, then each child in order of age until the water looked like cold coffee. Pioneer diaries described the tub's surface film, skin flakes, sweat, stray horsehairs, floating like a soup no one wanted to smell. And what people poured out of that tub caused an even bigger problem. Every cabin relied on an outhouse, a small shed built over a hand-dug pit. Settlers sprinkled lime over waste to mask the odor, but flies didn't care. They landed on the mess, flew straight through open windows, and touched dinner bread a minute later. In crowded mining camps, pits filled quickly, overflowed during rain, and leached into shallow wells. One government survey in 1875 found outhouse bacteria a full mile downstream from a busy gold camp. Flies weren't the only invaders cruising past flimsy walls. Strong prairie winds picked up fine dirt and pushed it right into people's homes. The dust slipped through the cracks in wooden walls and even landed in dinner pots while the food was still cooking. Families tried stuffing the gaps with mud or old cloth, but the brown dust still covered tables, got in their eyes, and filled their lungs. Doctors, who were rare out west, noticed that folks in the dustiest towns caught tuberculosis, a serious lung disease, more often than others. Smoke from fireplaces, animal hair, and open fire cooking added even more dirty air, so every breath carried tiny particles that slowly made folks sick. Saloons were the social heart of many towns. They were also germ factories. Along the bar's brass rail, a single towel waited for every customer to wipe beer foam from their mustache. After 30 patrons, the cloth resembled a wet rag and smelled worse than the horse trough outside, yet it kept hanging. Sawdust on the floor absorbed streams of tobacco spit, but when boots scuffed it into powder, bacteria went airborne. By the 1880s, a few counties finally passed no spit laws and fines that equaled a ranch hand's monthly pay. A night in town could ruin your smile too, literally. Toothbrushes and factory-made toothpaste had reached big eastern cities, but few made the trek west. Most people rubbed teeth with salt, baking soda, or nothing at all. Cavities turned into abscesses, and abscesses demanded drastic fixes. The local barber or blacksmith clamped iron pliers on the tooth, poured a shot of cheap whiskey into the patient, and yanked. Letters from frontier soldiers mention entire units sidelined by jaw fever, post-extraction infections that swelled faces like melons. Clothing didn't offer much comfort either. Washing clothes meant heating gallons of water over a fire, shaving homemade lye soap into the pot, then scrubbing fabric on a ridged board until knuckles bled. Because the process devoured wood, water, and daylight, most families laundered only essential items. Underwear might wait 2 weeks. heavy wool pants a month. In summer, clothes dried stiff and dusty. In winter, they could freeze solid before drip drying. Dirty garments carried lice and skin infections, but clean ones cost hours that many families simply didn't have. One group, however, carved out daily routines that stood apart. Frontier women often rose before dawn to fetch fresh stream water for a quick face wash. Privacy was rare, but a clean face felt worth the chill. Mexican settlers crushed yucca roots into a frothy shampoo nicknamed soapweed, leaving hair surprisingly soft amid a water-starved landscape. Chinese railroad workers kept brass tweezers on neck chains, plucking facial hair instead of shaving, and washing hands before meals, a habit Western observers sometimes called fussy but later proved smart. These small routines lowered infection rates among their communities, even when larger sanitation systems failed. Meanwhile, pride pushed even roughest cowhands to try new smells. Traveling barbers set up tents outside cattle drives, advertising a full cleanup, hot bath, haircut, shave, and hair tonic for the cost of 2 steaks. General George Custer preferred cinnamon oil, which masked sweat with a bakery sweet scent. Pine tar, bay rum, and bergamot tonics became status symbols. The stronger the fragrance, the more coins a man likely had in his vest. Bathhouses popped up near rail depots, charging 15 cents for 20 minutes in a clawfoot tub of fresh water, an absolute luxury for anyone who had lived on sponge baths and rain barrels. Unfortunately, sweet smells didn't stop microscopic killers. During the frantic push westward, basic hygiene was nearly non-existent, and the results were deadly. Frontier toilets were simple pits in the ground. When heavy rain filled these pits, the waste leaked into nearby streams and shallow wells. Families unknowingly drank this contaminated water, and cholera, an illness that causes extreme dehydration, exploded along wagon trails in 1849, killing thousands. Smallpox delivered an even harsher blow to native communities. While many settlers carried partial immunity, most Native Americans did not, so the virus could wipe out half of an entire village in a single season. These twin disasters finally forced towns to take action. Leaders ordered toilets moved farther from wells so waste couldn't seep into drinking water, and they required deeper trash pits to stop animals and rainfall from spreading germs. Many settlements also built crude wooden pipes to bring cleaner water from safer sources into the heart of town. By the 1890s, mining hubs and railroad camps even made Saturday night bath time mandatory, partly to lift spirits but mainly to keep workers healthy. In short, the shock of cholera and smallpox pushed the frontier to adopt the first real public health rules, laying the groundwork for modern sanitation in the West. Swap your hot shower for a barrel of rainwater. Trade your minty toothpaste for a twig dipped in salt. Replace your mattress with a straw tick that scratches all night. That was normal life in the Wild West, and the struggle against dirt didn't just shape comfort, it decided who lived long enough to see the next cattle drive. So, think about it. Could you survive even 1 week in those conditions? Share your answer below, then treat yourself to a long, clean shower. The pioneers of yesterday would call that pure luxury.